You know, besides skipping your breakfast and then having to deal with a growling stomach for a 3 hour long lecture, there are unfortunately some other mistakes that people often make in the university as rookies. And so, with fall coming up, lots of new first years, I decided to make this video to talk about some of these mistakes and help you guys avoid them. And so, yeah, watch this video until the end because the mistakes can range anywhere from just awkward to something that will make you absolutely fail in the university. Oh yeah, and about the sound, I do have like a really really bad audio right now, so yeah, you'll kind of just have to just kind of accept it at this point. Okay, so the first mistake that we have here on the list is developing a tendency of skipping classes. Now, it's really important that you don't do this because it's super addictive to start skipping classes in the university, right? You're as a student in the uni, you have more freedom, more autonomy, and so it's really easy to mess up and just fall into this trap of starting to skip classes. Please don't do that. Trust me, you're gonna have a much easier time studying if you just stick to your routine and do your best to remain consistent. So, just don't skip your classes. Just a bad idea. It's going to hurt your mark and it might reflect on other subjects too. So, yeah, just don't do that. Just try not to. Next mistake that people make is taking a very early class in their schedule. So, no, this is funny. You know how they say that an 8 a.m. class in high school and an 8 a.m. high school, an 8 a.m. class in the university is like those are like very very different. Now, I didn't believe this, but this is actually like it's hella true. It's like super super duper true. In the high school, you might be able to quite easily wake up for an 8 a.m. class, but in the university, it's another deal. As again somebody who has more freedom and autonomy, it's a lot harder to keep yourself this disciplined. And I'm not even talking about the fact that the classes in the university are just more difficult. Like you have to put more thought into the classes when you're inside the class. So it's really important that you're fresh and your mind is fresh. So don't take early classes unless you want to look like Luffy on this specific picture. That's what you're gonna look like if you take an 8 a.m. class or something. So unless you're like super confident in yourself, don't do this. So the next year that we have on the list is coming to a canceled lecture. Now, coming to a canceled lecture is super funny. It happens to me all the time. It's definitely a bit awkward. It's not bad. It's not exactly who cares either because you're wasting your time. But it's going to be a bit awkward to come to a canceled lecture. Again, it happens to me way too fucking much than it should because I don't check the notifications usually that the profs send in the very morning. Right? Some professors, when they cancel a lecture, they do it in the morning. I didn't check that. I don't check your messages in the morning, dude. Like, yeah, but yeah, so it's really important that you check everything the professor sends you in the morning so that you can avoid being an idiot. Yeah. The next mistake that we have here on the list is coming to a wrong classroom on your first date. Now, honestly, nobody cares. Absolutely nobody cares. I mean, if you came into the wrong classroom, you have two choices. Either just walk out, why would you sit there? Or just sit there. Like, I mean, whatever, you can just stay for the remainder of the class and just kind of check it out. It's actually something cool. So, yeah, but I'm gonna put this in who cares, not a deal, not a big deal at all. Just don't worry about it, okay? The next mistake that we have here on the list is not making friends early on of the term or early on in the class. And I'm gonna say it's kind of bad because it's really really good to have a like studying like academic companion with whom you could like prepare for exams together or exchange notes. So it's really really beneficial. Like I'm not saying it's a necessity. Like you can definitely still do very very good in a class while being solo, but it's definitely going to make your life easier. So it's pretty important that you do try your best to make friends, specifically at the beginning of the term, because at the beginning of the term, nobody fucking knows each other, right? So it's not going to be very awkward. Like nobody knows each other anyway. You can talk to anybody, right? And plus, I'm not even talking about the fact that you might make some really, really good friends or even more that way. And when I say more, I obviously mean a gym bro who would spot you from the back when you're doing squats. So I wouldn't miss out on that. Yeah, definitely make friends at the beginning of the term. The next mistake that people make is asking permission to go to the bathroom during a lecture. Now, I think this is like common knowledge at this point. Like everybody knows you shouldn't do that. Like everybody talks about this. That like you can just walk out of the fucking class. You don't have to put your hand up and ask, "Hey, can I please go to the bathroom?" Because you're an adult now, right? You have some sort of an autonomy. So you know, but I mean, it's gonna be a bit awkward. I'm not gonna put this at kind of bad. I'm not gonna put this at who cares too, because you know, at the end of the day, there are some people who will sort of giggle at you quietly. Me, and so so it's gonna be a bit awkward, but you know, that's just the reality of it. At the end of the day, even those who giggle at you, they'll just forget about it. So whatever, it's no big deal. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about this at all. um, the next mistake that we have here on the list is not developing some sort of a friendly relationship with your professor. So it's kind of bad. It's the same as with the study partner, not having like a study companion. But like it's not necessary to be friends with your professor, but um, it's still very beneficial because your prof might push you or might go easy on you at certain moments when you need it most to excel in the class. If you are more of a friend to them, like obviously you don't have to be like best buddies with your professor, but you can still develop a good relationship with them. But it's really important that you do it the right fucking way, because I've seen too much of like okay, too many of absolutely dog shit advices all over social media about like becoming friends with your professor, right? So a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, just go to the office hours and ask them stupid questions nobody cares about. Like ask them, hey, what is your favorite part about this subject, or what's the part of this subject that students usually find the most difficult? Like who cares? Like they know that you don't care about their answer. Like they know you're being disingenuous. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares about the answers to those fucking questions, right? Like why ask them in the first place? Ask something reasonable, right? Just come in that class instead of being dishonest and just seeming fake. Um, just be reasonable. Research some of the future assignments that you might have. Develop natural questions that you have that pertain to those assignments and ask them. And you're all set, right? And then that way you're naturally going to talk about something else with your professor and become friends. Like seriously, just be reasonable with it. Don't like it's super important, but be reasonable with it when you're trying to. Don't fall for that stupid ass advice. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm getting a bit heated. So the next mistake here is registering for classes too late. Or, you know, I would actually say the mistake is not registering for classes early. Because you know, it's really important that as soon as the registration for classes opens, you do it right there and then. Like, just do it as soon as possible. Do it on that exact day that the registration opens. Why? Well, because the seats are being taken up super quickly. And if you don't do that, well, good luck going to your 6 p.m. lecture on a Wednesday. Like it's like nobody wants that. Just register for classes early. This is kind of bad. Top of kind of bad. You don't want to be stuck with a super bad schedule. Just do it super early. Seats are being taken up quickly. The next mistake that we have here on the list is neglecting Rate My Prof, or just not using Rate My Prof when choosing a class. So you know, it's super important that you choose the Rate My Prof. If you don't know what that is, it's a website called Rate My Prof, where you can search up the name of your professor and read the feedback of students on the said professor, and also check out their mark from 1 to 5 as to how good they are. 1 is bad, 5 is good. So it's really important that you check it out. If you don't, it will definitely hurt your mark, because you might be stuck with a very bad professor. That's what happened to me. Like I didn't know about the website's existence in the first place when I was going into my first year, and then I was stuck with some pretty questionable professors with an absolutely horrific score on the Rate My Prof. Don't let that be you. Just check it out. Obviously, be mindful of the comments that people make. Make sure you sort of disregard the bias, because some students are just biased to professors. And the general rule of thumb, I would say, is to if a professor has a rating 4 and above, then you can just easily take it. But if they have like 4 and below, then I would suggest to read more into the comments and really consider if you want to take that class. The next mistake that we have here on the list is neglecting joining clubs. So you know how on the university you have lots of different clubs for all sorts of bullshit. Yeah, okay, not necessarily bullshit, but all sorts of stuff that like various stuff, lots of stuff. For example, in my university, we even have like a yogurt club, which is which is really funny, really silly. I'll definitely check the club out. I still don't know what they do like, for a yogurt club. Do you just eat yogurt? But okay, anyway, whatever. So that just goes to show there is a club for any sort of interest. If you don't do that, I would say it's kind of bad. If you don't join any clubs, it's kind of bad because you're just missing out on lots of really cool social opportunities. But at the same time, you don't have to join clubs. But I would suggest that you still do. Yeah, I'd suggest you still do because it's just cool. It's just cool for your social life. The next mistake that people make is having an alarm go off during your lecture. So yeah, just watch your alarm. It happens to quite a lot of people. It's definitely a bit awkward when your alarm goes off. And I'm actually put this at top of awkward because you might also catch attention of the professor and they may consequently just call you and ask you some question you might not want to answer. It's just going to be very awkward. So yeah, just watch your alarm. But anyway, not that big of a deal. Okay, and the last mistake that we have here on the list is neglecting your notes. Now, it's pretty addictive, just like skipping classes. Like, you don't technically have to take all the notes to succeed in the class, but it's better to like optimize your success. And yeah, I would say it might hurt you or your mark if you do in fact neglect taking notes in class. Just be mindful about it, okay? Because you know, don't overdo notes. Just you know, because far too often, especially in the beginning of the term, you're gonna see lots of people, the entire class basically, just taking notes of like every single word the professor says, like everything he says I have to write down. Don't do that. You're just going to burn out. You don't have to write down every single word of your professor. It's not that important anyway. Just pick out the actually important stuff and review them later whenever you need to. Okay, so that will be it. Thanks everybody for watching. As you can see, there's nothing in you will fail category, which is probably good, right? You're not going to probably make that many mistakes that will make you fail. No, I'm just kidding. I just put this category here because for the dramatic effect. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. See you next time.